Guys, good afternoon, and we begin our last lecture of or maybe the last part of our journey of the lecture series that we had since 15th of June onwards. So we completed four subjects, basically, four topics rather. First one was the acoustics, second one was the public toilet, third one was the electricity, and the fourth one was the lighting. Uh, so generally in the lighting part, along with certain part of the public toilet, what we generally do and the practice has been that to make you make you aware of what happens in the market, we generally do this part of the lecture as a market survey, where people actually go there, they find out what kind of lighting are available. And if you go to Mangaldas market, ke baju mein you have electrical market, Nal Bazaar. You will see shops and shops and shops littered with different kinds of lighting. And it's like mind-boggling array of lights that is available in the market, and they are used for various kinds. With the LED flooding the market, the kinds, the types, the way the lights are made to fit into different fixtures are amazing. So ideally, it would have made sense, but in this pandemic situation, since that is not possible, I thought I'll just cover it up so that at least if you can go online and then do your further research, that would be fine. The reason I'm taking this is in your IDS, we expect the light fixtures, light position, the kind of lights that you are going to use, the daylight factor, everything to be shown to us. So it shouldn't happen that you don't know what is a hydrogen or what is a halide or what is a sodium mercury or whatever. Jo bhi different types of lights are there. So what we'll do is we'll quickly. It's only 14 slides that we have. Very quickly, I'll go through this. And then if you have any questions, you can throw us. And any questions related to ideas from the other groups are also welcome. Hmm? Or if you wish any other lectures to be taken as a whole class, so that instead of just me taking a lecture for my group, it can become for the whole group, for the whole class. So that way we can continue. Okay, but otherwise this is the last lecture. So types of lighting. What are the? So we last time we studied in the lights that how do you calculate the number of lights? Now obviously number of light will depend on light ka efficacy. How much light is capable of coming out of one chotu sa light fixture that you have decided to apply in your space. So first of all, the dependence of number of light will be on the lux requirement. How much that activity requires the amount of light, that is lux, which is not given by the light, but it is given in the NBC, where you open up the NBC and you say, okay, I am designing for a watch company and I need not 300, 300 is too less, probably I'll go for 500 lux there. So all those different function having what is the requirement of lux requirement is given by NBC. But after you decide that these are the lux I require, and you say, oh, this is like 500 lux I require for one space, and so how many number of lights will come? So then you will approach with this mind, okay, the highest lumen, I'll buy that light, because the more lumen, lesser the number of lights. Zyada light आएगा, तो मुझे lights का fixture कम चाहिए. So that is how you will do your calculation. So calculations of light we finished last time. Today we'll finish what is the kinds of light or the types of light that we have. Coming to this, yeah. So why is this not going ahead? Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. So the first thing is your incandescent light. It's basically your bulb, the one which you have 40 watts, 60 watts, 100, 0. Tungsten filament general lighting, instant light, low installation cost. You get, hold on. Oh, what went wrong? Guys, can you see the screen?
Yeah, but it's still on the tungsten filament line.
No, I'm not seeing a screen at all.
Oh, we can even hear you.
1 second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my TV on. No, but I'm still not seeing my screen. Okay, yes, I can. So what I'm going to do is, since I've taken the attendance, I will leave this and I'll put my smart view on. Okay, so tungsten filament is the general lighting that I was talking about. Okay, it basically is a clear glass, and what you studied in your classes, I think in your school, when you talked about how the tungsten filament works and why the metal chemistry में हमने पढ़ा था ये कि why the use of tungsten, because it has a high efficacy of throwing light, so it gets heated up, and it gets heated up to such an extent that it can give me the capacity of lighting as something like 40 watts or 60 watts, right? So that's your tungsten filament, and this is how your bulbs look. Now the bulbs have also started changing forms. Initially you would get a clear glass, today you get opaque glass, you get colored glass. Okay, so you have various available kind of material in the market which you need to go and do your study about. Then you have special incandescent lamps where either they are colored, whether they are smaller in size but giving you greater light. So again, as I say, uh, naam chota, kaam bada kind of a thing. So you have pygmy lamps, okay. You have miniature lamps. So these are how my pygmy lamps look, right? This is how my miniature. They are like very small. They can be used in a lamp. They can be used as a small what do you say, night lamps, okay. So these are the different varieties of just your tungsten bulb that I'm talking about. Yeah. The next is same, but the reflector light. Uh, Same tungsten filament, same bulb, this thing, manner of working, okay, but with a reflector. So unfortunately, I can't show you my cursor, but if you see the picture, if you see the bottom part of it, the round bowl kind of a thing, inside there is a parabolic reflector. So if you open up the bulb, if you remove the top surface, and if you see inside, there is a reflector, and over that you have your tungsten filament. So basically what happens when the filament burns, it kind of obviously gives out light, but this light is now again reflected also, so you get kind of little bit more light. So that's how you increase the efficacy of the lamp or the efficiency of the lamp, okay. So reflector lamps are basically, and also this is not clear glass, so you don't see that tungsten element, which is not very pretty to look at. So that's why all the yellow kind of, so all your yellow lights are hidden by some kind of a bulb over it, right? Some kind of a lampshade, because I don't like to see the naked bulb on my ceiling. Uh, that's the reason why these kind of bulbs have come into the market, because they look good, but work on the same function. They will use up 40 watts of your electricity, and they will give you a nice bill at the end of the month, versus your other lamps. But yeah, how do you make them beautiful? These are some of the ways them. So they've started using glazing around it, mirror finish, okay, brilliant colors are given. So that is how the market is coming up with better lights so that it looks aesthetically good. Okay, available in flood as well as spotlight version. So where you want a bigger light, yes, that is also available, because now it's a reflector. So even if it's a filament is small, आप reflector ज़्यादा बड़ा बना दो. So you make a bulb little larger and give better reflector at the back. So with the same kind of wattage, you get more light. So that is the idea of reflector lamps, working on the tungsten filament, incandescent basically. Spotlights, spotlighting with the help of these lamps, parabolic mirrors are fitted inside, so that, as I said again, you get more and more lights possible. And on a smaller scale, they can be used in restaurants, dance floors, small stages, because they are colored lights, not in a usual workspace. Okay. Oh God, what did I do? Can you see my screen? This is
Yes, yes.
troublesome. Yeah. Uh, Okay. Again, coming to the same reflector lamps, you have blown bulb. Okay, looks like. So these are the bulbs which also kind of gives you heat. And I'm seeing this on my mobile, so I'm finding it a little difficult to read. Anyways, yeah, a blown bulb. You have infrared heat lamps. These are the kind of bulbs where you will use it in some manufacturing companies, or probably in some kind of bakery confectionaries, where you need to heat up those what do you call it, produce stuff there. So especially you have those puffs and kharis and biscuits and anything that requires to be remaining crisp instead of getting affected by the humid air around. You would go for these kind of reflector lamps where it emits more heat. And it is made to emit more heat. Okay, ideally it is never a good kind of a condition to buy any lamp which will conduct or give me more heat, because imagine you are choosing this kind of a lamp, say in our computer lab, your ACs will have to work more. But if you choose the lamps what we have, like like a probably a CFL, and put it where the bakeries are there, it will just not function. Okay, it will probably give me good nice CRI, my color rendering index is fine, but it will become damp, it will become humid, because the pastries kind of sag if they are in touch with more humid atmosphere. So there these kind of applications are of high use. So you can see some of the applications: metalworking industry, partial heating, shrinks, shrink fits. You know, you have to fit something within something. So how do you do that? And you don't require too much of heat, because if I apply too much of heat, probably it will shrink too much or expand too much. So where you require these minute adjustments, these kind of bulbs in variety can be used to achieve that. Hmm? Drying, lacquer and paint, baking. So a lot of these basically manufacturing company. So as in when you suppose you get a project of this kind, me mashing words here or trying to make you explain is absolutely no use, because when you get the project, ye sara research you will have to do. Okay, probably the new things have come up in the market which is far better than what I'm telling you right now, because lighting industry keeps on changing. And if you open up any architectural digest or any architectural magazine, you will see these advertisements which talks about ceramics and which talks about light fittings to no end. Every month they come up with a new lighting business. Okay, so yeah, you will see a lot of these kind of reflector lamp examples that one can you can refer to. Hmm? Yeah, so the next in line is again the same use continue. So these are all reflector lamps. So you continue in packaging industry, bicycle, scooter, industry, drying leather. Basically, drying you do with a kind of heat. So that's how it is done. Yeah. The next in line is halogen lamp. And I'm quickly going by because you are supposed to do the market survey, and I'm not really going into detail. I want you to go online and study these. Okay. And it's all available. So and you can approach any company, just find out which companies manufacture them, and you can get the whole catalogs of the company, and you can do the market survey. And since we are not allowed to take any kind of submission from you guys from this arena, from this space, which I would like to, and I'm ready to check alone, or maybe Ankush can help me, but it's a clear cut no. That's why I'm not forcing you. Otherwise, I would have definitely asked you to give me a proper kind of a lighting, so you can make groups of 5 and do it. So if you are ready to do it internally, and I would suggest you do it. Okay, take it as a initiative, and to learn and go ahead and do it. So these heat lamps basically provide accurately controlled infrared. Halogen lamps basically is all about. One second, I'm taking time to read. Sorry. These are a very minute kind of lamps that I was talking about in the first way, where you use it for the night lamps. But idea is, I don't want to miniaturize because I don't want them to see miniature hai, but I need a good, great output of it. Okay, and mankind basically has this fetish for making things smaller and smaller. Okay, even as a kid, you kind of imitate your big things into smaller thing, and they get excited about it. They want to keep it somewhere. Same thing, your computers are shrinking, your watches are shrinking, your mobiles are making thinner, your computers are going thinner. So this miniaturization has always been a big fad. Hmm? And being lighter, being more efficient, easy to carry, all that kind of stuff. Similarly, in the lighting industry as well, smaller the light, bigger the amount of light, that is the lumen capacity of it, has always been a kind of a craze. and halogen provides you that. Problem with halogen is that it creates a lot of light, heat. Halogen lamps are available for different application and can also find place in various equipments commonly used in cine industry, generally used in Hollywood, Bollywood areas, where and as well as automatic photocopying machines and slide projectors. Now, if you see, slide projector tends to get heated up. Your machines, the Xerox machines, after a long prolonged use of it, will get heated up. रघु से अगर आपने एक बुक करवाया तो बोलता है आपको थोड़ी देर रुको, मशीन गर्म हो गया. So that's because it emits a lot of heat. So as I said, light is superb because machine does not have a big kind of a जगह कि जिसमें मैं light के लिए इतना बड़ा जगह use करूं. But I do need light there so that my clarity of the paper that I'm using to photocopy is very clear. But I don't want big space for it. That's where halogen kind of comes into picture. But yeah, it comes with its own. Okay, so basically, it's a capsule kind of a small thing. Capsule is a miniature, single-ended, extra low voltage halogen lamps. So this is how it looks. Very small, miniature. Okay, that the one which I showed you was also a floodlight with a parabolic reflector. Yeah, so this is how my I shouldn't have done this. So like all halogen lamps, these capsules are characterized by the crisp white light, a color temperature of 3000 K and a color rendering index approaching to 100. Immediate ignition, dimming possibilities, a universal burning position, and an average light of 2000 hours are additional features. Okay, amazing capacity of light giving. Uh, and basically very efficiently. Okay, very shock resistant, very sturdy, high color temperature, high long life. It has 2000 hours is like pretty long time it can go on. Okay, kuch kala wala nahi karta. So if you see the bulb tends to sometime blacken. So nothing happens on halogen. And a crisp white light with better CRI. CRI I forgotten to write, but it's there. A very compact low voltage capsule is used in various types of XN general and domestic lighting. Low wattage capsule can also be used for decorative application. New kinds of light have come in where heat emission is lost because because the wattages are less. Okay, if the wattage is less, consumption of electricity is less, the heat emitted will also be less. So you have voltage as low as 12 volt and should be used in combination of a transformer. Abhi apna wattage kitna hai? You have your normal wattages of 230 and this is only 12. Burst ho jayega pipe. Okay, anything you apply on a direct line, all my bulbs will start popping. So I need a transformer. Which transformer? Step up ki step down? I will need a step down transformer. So you don't need a machine that I need a stool to keep on. No way. These transformers are even it comes so small. As I say, miniaturization is a fad. So you get these transformer where you need to put across LED. You need to put it across these because they are working with something as small as 12 volts. If I get 12 volts of electricity, I am all light. Not so with the other lights. Okay, so to work these lights, you will need a transformer. So you might have heard about things like ballast, you might have heard of things like choke, that all kind of works to do this kind of job, okay? Where it becomes, they make it basically possible for the light to function without doing some massive changes in the electrical circuit. So that's the idea of transformer that happens. This is again another kind of a halogen light, which is double-ended, which is kind of, so if you don't want, if you are looking for, again, a better kind of lighting, okay, a little larger kind of light requirement, but this is an office setting, then you would go for, this is again on a principle that it will not emit heat. Okay. The double-ended linear lamp is a double-ended main voltage halogen lamp with a linear quartz glass clear envelope provided with standardized cap. Okay. This is a typical manufacturing language that they will use. And this is what I wanted to show you. So when you read, you will come up across this. Okay. And this is the specification which Jimmy will ask from you. And this is what you are supposed to write. Now, when I say clear glass, when I say quartz glass, quartz is very tough. That's why they say halogen is a tough light. So when I say quartz clear glass, that means the efficacy of light is high. There is no blurring of line. I get what jo deta hai, mujhe milta hai. That kind of equation is there when I use clear glass. When I go for opaque glass, or when I go for a kind of a colored glass, some kind of tinting is done to it. That kind of reduces my light. So the efficacy reduces little bit, or I might have to increase the wattage or whatever there is there which is emitting the light. Uska mujhe capacity badhana padega if I want the same lumen out. So these are the kind of specification. So what basically when an architect does is we choose and then we do this comparison. Okay, if I am paying this much, this is the size available, and this is the lumen available, and this is the wattage. So I have to see what is it that I am planning for. Am I planning an auditorium? Am I planning a conference room? Am I planning a kitchen? Hmm? And accordingly, I will go for it. So if I have to cater to volume, what kind of light I will go? Okay. If I'm catering to normal length, like say conference room, where there will be this nice kind of gentle lighting that I need to do there, that will be different. When I'm talking about kitchen, where task surface becomes like a prime importance, okay, even the general ambience lighting, so many cleanliness is there, sanitation needs to be there in a kitchen. I cannot go for a soft yellow light. Lot of things I will miss. Okay, so these things are to be kept in mind when you choose a light. So halogen is a type of a lamp which will be very clear, which kinds of gives you an absolute light. So when you want to do all those checking business, kitchen ke liye, this is a good example. Only thing is it's costly, so nobody goes for it. So we make do with our tube lights. So that's my halogen lamps. Okay, the application is the double-ended halogen lamps are an excellent choice wherever safe and reliable lighting is needed. Long term, I don't wish to change it. Say in a factory unit or in a textile factory unit where I need that color rendering capacity to a highest level, I'll go for this. So examples of indoor use include home, shop, museums as general lighting, up lighting, wall washing. So if you want white light as a wall washing, you can go for this because it can go for a long time, okay, on and on without changing. So you don't have to bother climb up, climb down, and do any changes. Illuminating hoarding. So imagine you are traveling at night and you see this huge hoarding there, and you have one light there, chotu sa light, and that's your halogen. But if you have multiple light, that means imagine it's not a halogen, it's something else. For outdoors, they are used as illuminating hoardings, car parking, security lighting, and flood lighting. Why flood lighting and आप बोल रहे हो miniaturization? Precisely. Smaller light, big light. Okay, in look it is smaller, but application, I mean, it gives me a flooding of light. It has higher capacity to give out light. That's why I'll go for mercury. The next is your common CFL. CFL is nothing but your tube light, okay? Or I would use, sorry, not the word tube light. Tube light ke liye there is another term that is fluorescent, okay? When I say compact fluorescent tube, it comes like this. So you see the picture. The other picture nowadays in the market is the round kind of a thing, okay? The same filament, same principle. But when I make it round, I am basically providing more surface area and the light given out is more. So you have compact fluorescent light lamps, which we call it as CFL, and then you have something called as a fluorescent lamp. That is my tube light. There is a difference. Please understand this. Fluorescent lamps is my tube light, which is available in two colors, white and yellow. Okay, but white maybe they have blue light and daylight. So you need to be clear of exactly what you are wishing for it. And how would you decide? You will read it on that cardboard box which is there, which will tell you what is the color correlated. So CCT, it will talk about CRI, it will talk about lumen. Okay, will it talk about lux? Hello, guys, respond. When I am going to buy a tube light and when I
I think
read
there's like
the
a temperature mentioned, right? It's in Kelvin that we.
that is CCT. That is your correlated color temperature. Okay. It will give me CRI. It will give me lumens. What I'm asking you is, will it give me lux?
No. No,
Why?
because it's task based.
Yes.
What we
So,
decide.
yes. So lux is something I needed. फिर I need this much light. फिर उसमें आप मर्क्यूरी लगाओ या CFL लगाओ, मुझे कोई पड़ी नहीं. वो CFL दे रहा है मुझे या कोई और दे रहा है. I need this. It's like city needs road. चाहे वो BMC दे या MMRDA, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? I need road, right? Similarly, so that is my need. Lux is my need to do a certain task. So that I will get it from the research data, that is NBC. Fine. So I hope you guys are clear. So this is your CFL. Similar to fluorescent lamp. Only thing is this is more compact. It saves space, and secondly, it space wattage. So your tube light works on 36 watts. So that is that 4 feet का तुम्हारा 4 feet का white color का tube light आता है. That works on 36 watts. Okay, this will work on 14 to 15 watts. So definitely, electricity wise, this helps. Okay, but you will have to go for a higher kind of a number of CFL if you are going for a very defined task. So depending on the calculation that you manage, you will have to come to more number of lamps to get the same output. So this is how. The tube light जो आपने पढ़ा था same, it has the ballast, but the only thing is the tube light has a choke and it has a ballast, and then you have to fit it on the two ends, right? While this is like a bulb, can come and get fitted in. So that's another advantage of using CFL. Very easy to use. The energy efficient, long lasting properties with significant versatility, okay, and cost saving advantage over alternative light sources make these lamps the most appropriate lighting solutions for today. So CFL is today one of the most popular of the brand. Lamps provide significant advantages as an alternative to the normal incandescent, and definitely better than. So tube light was a advantage over your bulb. Bulb kind of gives you heat, does not give you the clarity, does not have great CRI. Bulb light mein you can never do your matching business. Even when you are painting and coloring, you would prefer to not have bulb light, but you will prefer to have a tube light on. Because it do not blues and greens basically kind of mashes, because blue, green, and yellow are kind of mixed together to get each other. So not having very clear CRI, and that's the reason people opt for tube light. Now tube light acha hai, cheaper than because watt will 40 watts with a short light gir jata hai to toot jata hai. Tube light does not have that kind of issue, and it can go on for at least 4 to 5 months. Your bulb dies very early. Tungsten filament cannot last for long because it is heat emitting, wo jal jata hai. And so the second in line was your fluorescent lamps. Third in line, so they said, why not make tube lights better? In came the compact fluorescent lamps. So that's why all that energy efficiency and all that. Now, due to their low energy consumption, this range of lamps are most suited for places which have to be illuminated for extended periods of time, something like corridors. Okay, any corridor you take today, hospital ho ya hotel ho, you will have these kind of lamps there. Okay, of course, hotel being a luxury kind of a thing, probably they will go for soft yellow light, so they will have soft halogens there, or mercury there, depending. Okay, but generally this is the option for extended, common kind of a lighting. So all the office interiors will have this, or fluorescent lamps, whatever. But you also have reflecting fluorescent lamps, okay, which I'll show you. So you understand this, the PL electronic CE, okay. Now I wrote this because this is what you will get as a specification. Now if you read Bajaj will have its own terminology, okay. If you go and read Philips apna hi gana gayega. So don't get confused by this. It is like me naming something in my language and you naming something in the same thing in another language. But essentially, the product you need to look at as an architect is lumen output. Okay, the kind of color you want, CRI you want, the kind of fixture that you want. Okay, fixture mein you might have seen that in the offices, the tube lights are very bright looking. Suddenly, the one you use in your homes and the one you use in your offices, you will see that they are very different. because you have the tube lights. Probably the fixture is such that it can hold two tube lights simultaneously. Not only that, if you see the back side of the fixture, it is completely silver white. Again, it's a parabolic reflector that they put inside so that more light is radiated. 36 watts, but the lumen efficacy is increased something like twice, which is definitely more energy efficiency. उसी उतना ही इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में I am getting double light. So that's the reason of, and this is how you save energy. छोटी छोटी बातों में बोलते हैं ना, बूंद बूंद से सागर बनता है. Similarly, smaller things will help you in saving so much of energy. Yeah. Continuing, you have PL. I mean, sorry. So I have given you the, and what are the applications where you can use it. So this is again that round thing. So the application, as I say, is common. You can have it for jahan pe long time hai. You can use it in home, school, hospitals, everywhere you can use this. Okay, public spaces. Sometimes you will see them lighted in your landscape. Okay, as a small this thing. So it can be used anywhere because आराम से ये 4-5 महीना चलता है without changing your lights. PL electronic T lamps provide significant advantages as an alternative to C lamps. Okay. Now, as I say, Bajaj will probably name it as something else, and Philip will name it as something else. So I'm not going here. You need to find that out for yourself. Application कहाँ पे है? सब जगह पे है. Everywhere. Table lamp से लेके hospital तक, street light तक I can do this. Coming to the next light is your high intensity discharge lamps. Okay, where I require great intensity of light, like say in a factory manufacturing. Okay, or maybe in a manufacturing company where probably high intensity of lights are required. Or I would say that I don't want to give more light fixtures on my ceiling. एक ही लाइट से काम होना चाहिए, then I will go for this. Obviously they are costly because high kind of light is emitted from them. The high ceilings and heights enclosed in industrial interiors and outdoor lighting application necessitates the use of compact high intensity light sources. As I said, miniaturization. I want great amount of light to flood my interiors, but I don't want to see the light. छोटू सा होना चाहिए, very small. Okay, or I would say the volume is huge, but I want that light to reach the floor. So the intensity of the light should be good enough that it covers that much of distance and yet give me enough lux so that I can read and I can do my task. So that's where you go for high intensity discharge lamps. Okay. The research in this direction resulted in development of the high intensity discharge lamps giving very high lumen output, extremely high lumen output. And look at the size of the lamp. Okay, it looks like even smaller than your normal 40-watt bulb. Presently, discharge lamps cover mercury vapor lamps, sodium vapor, and metal halide lamps. All three comes under one umbrella, and that is high intensity discharge lamp. Okay, but in some lamps there will be mercury vapors, in others it would be sodium vapors, and in third it could be metal halides. Okay, all three are doing the same job of discharging high intensity lights. And also they have a great tremendous energy saving possibilities. High pressure mercury vapor lamps with a quartz discharge tube enclosed in a ovoid shape, which is shown here, internally phosphor coated outer shell. Okay, sorry, internally nahi hona chahiye, it is phosphor coated outer shell. Now when you don't have that outer coating of phosphor, then you have, they are known as an HP version. Again, this is as per the manufacturer. Okay, I have used Bajaj might have changed the version of it. The new versions are possible. Okay, this was something about 5 years back, and I'm not bothered to change because there's no point in changing your PPT every year. Okay, so my job is to tell you about these. Now you go and do your research. So it requires a ballast for operating on main voltage. As I said, it works on a small voltage. So I need to protect my lights from the high voltage that is possible on the main line. And as I said, these are energy saving equipment. So energy saving means मुझे छोटा सा voltage चाहिए and छोटा सा wattage चाहिए. So when both the things are applied, my energy is saved, and that's why I need a ballast or a transformer. So what is high intensity discharge lamps doing? Okay, what does it do? It has tremendous luminous efficacy. Luminous efficacy we already discussed in the lighting. Is basically the capacity of the light to provide you with high amount of lumens is known as a luminous efficacy. It has a long service life. I don't have to bother of replacing it again and again. It can run for a long time. HP version can be HP version can be used for getting a very narrow beam for area lighting. Light output not affected by temperature variations. Okay, ideal for use in areas where high. Sorry, I'm not doing this. 1 second, guys. The light output not affected, ideal for use in areas where high efficacy, that is high lumen output, long life and reasonable color rendering. So generally outdoor lighting. मेरे को auditorium तो ठीक है, but if I have to say amphitheater, okay, or I'm saying a sports stadium, if I have to use those lights, I'll go for these kind of discharge lamps. Warehouse, godowns, highways, streets, airports, parking, which are these open grounds, I will go for these kind of intense discharge lamps. And this is a comparison of all four and all the parameters. That is, so if I take tungsten and halogen together, I have taken, including tungsten halogen, fluorescent, compact fluorescent, metal halide, and high pressure sodium. Okay, if I, so the top one are the types of lighting, and these are the parameters of what lighting fits into. So if I consider wattage is one thing. So if I consider the wattage, unfortunately I have not added LED. That should be a part of it. So I request all of you to study LED on your own. It's very simple. Basically, LED also requires a transformer, because you will get LED having wattage of consuming wattage of only about say 3, 5, 11, okay, 40. You have these various LEDs possible, and the volt that is requires is also very less. So you require a transformer so to bring the voltage down. Step down transformer is what you will require. So look at the wattage, that is the lamp only, if I am saying, not the luminaire. Okay, so I'm not talking about the reflector and all that. 15 to 15,000. How is that possible? I think there is a mistake here. Okay, 15 to 219 wattage. So if I go for a very high kind of lights, multiple lights, then I can go for this. Compact fluorescent, look at this is 4 to 40, very less. Metal halide can go for this kind of wattage. The bills are huge when I go for metal halides. That's why they are used in stadium. We cannot afford them. So if I want to do, मेरे घर में शादी है और मुझे अगर ये लेना है तो मुझे इलेक्ट्रिक बिल ही बहुत आएगा. So I will have to think where I can use this. So metal halide are specifically used. So basically discharge lamps I'm talking about are used where specific requirement is there, or where the capacity demands certain light. So that's where I will think about it, because they are costly. Life, you can see, look at the light of high pressure sodium, 24,000 hours. Huge amount. एक बार डाला तो भूल जाने का. You can आराम से 1-2 years it can work for it. Okay, it has that kind of light output quality, and that's why, though it is costly, and when I'm talking about going huge heights, बार बार change नहीं करना है, because that also cost money, labor also is costly. If I am thinking about all that point of view, I would say rather pay one-time installation, but all those maintenance kharcha will be out, and I can easily run the same light for a long time. I will definitely go for high pressure sodium lamps. But otherwise, you can see the life 750 to 7,500. Okay, I think I have not mentioned R. R is there. Okay. If you are getting scared about 7,500 as a tube light, okay, just calculate the hours that a tube light goes on, especially in buildings and in corridors where the natural light is not possible. Okay, the lights are on 24 hours a day. 24 hour, and I'm not joking. I've seen building, mera hi building aisa hai, where the chalk from which the light comes in are covered from the top because they are open and the rain comes in, so we have covered it. That means the corridors are choke black, and so we have to light tube lights 24 hours. But I don't remember changing tube light in 6 months. So 24 hours into 6 months, you calculate the number of hours, okay? It will be great. So yes, it has the capacity to go for that many hours. And also it depends on the MF and UF we talked in the lighting ka calculation, maintenance and the utilization factor. Efficacy, that is lumen per watt, kitna hai? 15. See, the lowest one is your bulb. Not a very efficient kind of a light, because even after spending so much in your wattage, okay, you are getting only 15 to 25. So it will never be efficient to do a high capacity of the work where you have to do higher level of lux are demanded. Basically, it means that you will have to put so many bulbs to get me that kind of lux. But if I go for something like metal halide or even fluorescent CFL, look at that. I can manage 50 to 80. Okay, depending on the sizes. So various sizes are available. As the size increase, the efficacy increase. Simple सीधी बात है ना, surface area increase होगा तो light increase होगा, simple है. So that's how you are getting this range of 50 to 80, 55 to 100, all that. Depends on the size of it. Then you have lumen maintenance, you have color rendition, you have light direction control. All these are the parameters an architect should look into when they are buying a light. I'm not going into all the details. Please do it for yourself. And with this, we end the thing. These are the various lights available. I've just mingled them. So the top one is your discharge lamp. These are your CFL. These are your again CFL but colored. That's the halogen one that you see on the middle of the left. So these are the various light fixtures, colors, textures. Everything is available today. So if your interior is say a Chinese restaurant with red in color, you can go for red color ka tube light. At least the fittings can be the red. Yeah. So the options are many. The industry is just bursting with the kind of options that you want. You name it and you have it. So it's unlimited. So please do it for yourself. You will need to do this in every project henceforth you handle. Any questions, guys?
Yeah, Meena, I wanted to ask that uh, when the tube light, if we go to buy, then the lux also should be mentioned, right? Because then how will you know that the same? How will you know that different watts can give you the same lux?
Aha, good question. So, darling, आपने lux जानना है, okay? You are saying that you want to do it for a drafting purpose in your room where you are going to sit and draft, make model and all that. So 300 is a requirement. You calculate the number, because when you
No, I'll. Hmm.
let me finish, then you, so maybe I'll answer your
Yeah.
this thing. Okay, so you say that I am going for 36 watt ka, but watt doesn't make a difference here. Watt meaning WATTS, okay, that wala watt. Volt nahi, volt bhi farak nahi padta hai. What I am interested in is in the lumen that light is able to give me, so that I can get it online, or probably मैंने जाके देखा कि बाबा 36 का मेरे को कितना मिलता है, and I have an idea that this is what I am going to get. Okay, for a home, say for your own home with your living room will be generally about 12 foot by 10 foot ka, ya 12 by 12 ya 12 by 16, whatever, bigger the thing. We now, over a period of time, going to so many people and all this, we have an idea, one or two tube lights will work fine, or if I have to put a yellow lamps, three or four is fine. But when I'm designing a big warehouse, you don't know the number of lights that is required. So you will have to go into the market, do the research. कि इसका lumen इतना है, इसका lumen इतना है, इसका lumen इतना है. You get those things, okay? You come back on your drafting table. You put those lumen in your formula, and you get the number, and then you make the BOQ. Did I answer your question?
I'm not understanding. Like basically, my question is that suppose I know for a room I require 300 lux. So
ठीक.
now for that need I have a lot of options of tube lights of different watts, correct? Depend like
Yes.
the costlier ones will have lower watts and it'll cost me
Yes.
less later, like for
Yes.
electricity and all.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, so now suppose I know that I require 300 as my lux. So now when I
Hmm.
go to the shop, I should know that 300 lux, like these many tube lights are offering 300 lux, and like the prices and the watts differ so and so, correct?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
like lux should also be mentioned in the on the tube lights, right? When like in the shops and all.
So are you saying that when I buy one tube light, okay, and Lux
Hmm.
mentioned is मुझे तो 300 का चाहिए, okay? So what will you
Yeah.
say? You buy half a tube light or you buy one a tube light? कितना?
No, I'll if I know that my requirement is 300 lux, so
Hmm.
then I will choose within the options of tube lights which give me 300 lux, right?
But
Depend
it doesn't give
like they'll have
300.
different.
Nah. No, darling. It doesn't. One tube light never gives me 300 lux. Because कितना factors है ना? If you see the formula, lumen is the factor. We generally say 0.8 as an academic level. You are saying UFMF. But so that's why I get number of lights. Now, if you say I don't want tube light, मुझे tube light नहीं चाहिए. I want nice yellow light. I don't mind the number of light increasing. I don't mind getting little lumen less. I don't mind paying the bill. पर मुझे ये चाहिए. You look at any American house. Why is
No,
America? We
hmm,
हाँ बोलो बोलो
like
बोलो.
question is not how many will I need. My just question
But
is
that's
that
the whole
if I
game.
have options of normal tube light and if I have options of LED, then
हाँ.
obviously their watts will differ, right? LED will like LED will work with lesser watts, and
Yes.
yeah,
So
so then
what
it should
is
be.
mentioned on it? Wattage is mentioned on it. See, I will buy anything with let wattage because मुझे पैसा नहीं भरना है. I am trying to save my pocket. So yes, I will go and buy it.
Yeah,
But
exactly, but then you'll only
lux
buy
will
if
not be
it's.
given on it. Lux देके क्या फायदा है मुझे नहीं समझा. So
Because that's
suppose
the
I get lux.
requirement, right?
No, lux is the requirement. But it is
Exactly.
so no manufacturer will say कि I make a specific tube light कि एक tube light से तुम्हारा 300 lux पूरा होगा.
No, that's not my concern. Like
Then
it
what
can
is
be. No, all I'm saying is that okay, see, different tube lights will have different wattages, correct? Like
बराबर?
LEDs will have lesser and normal tube lights will have more wattages. So now
Yes.
I know that whatever number of LEDs or whatever number of normal tube lights give me 300 lux, which is required
Hmm.
in my room.
Hmm.
So then that I'll get to know from the tube light only, right? Like from the shop only I'll get to know that
No,
300
you'll
is my
get to know the
requirement for
lumens.
shop.
You'll get to know the lumens, how
You
many
get to
lumens
the
of a
lumens,
tube light
not the
has.
lux. Lux is already you know. You will never be able to plan unless you don't know your lux.
So I'll buy on the basis of lux only, right?
Yes, you will buy on the basis of lux. लेकिन तुमको क्या बनाने का है वो मैन्युफैक्चरर को क्या पड़ी है?
We'll have to
हम
calculate how
करता है.
many, like through which type of light we get how the required number of lux, right? Like because each light has different amount of lumens, so we just calculate with the area that we have according to the lumens, and then we get the number of lights.
So lumens are mentioned.
Yes, lumens are mentioned.
Yeah,
Definitely.
lumens are mentioned. Lux is not mentioned.
Yes, you
So we'll have
cannot.
to calculate the lumen based on the lux required.
Yes, so
No,
that's what I say.
no, you'll have to calculate the number of lights based on the lumens each light is giving you and the lux that is required for the space.
So lumens are dependent on the lux, right? Like number of lights is fine. That'll depend on.
Lux is dependent on lumens. Lumens is for each light, it's fixed. One light will give this much number of lumens.
That's it.
Yeah.
Array,
Got
it's
it?
like if a person needs like 10 fruits, it doesn't matter if what fruit you give him. If you give him 5 apples and 5 bananas, Like he just needs 10 fruits, 10 lux chahiye. So
Perfect.
like that.
Okay. All right.
Got it? अभी भी clear नहीं है?
थोड़ा सा I'll have to see the formula again. I think else.
See, I'll tell you the formula. Number of light is equal to lux into area upon lumen into UF into MF. Academically, we take UF and MF as 0.8 because they are the factors of utilization factor and maintenance factor. I assume maintenance हो रहा है. I assume utilization भी बराबर हो रहा है. So I'm not bothered about that. ठीक है? Assuming that academically, theoretically, I'm saying 0.8 ले लिया. So an area I have a living room, say 3 by 4 meters. So I say 12 square meters. So I have the living room there, 12 square meter. My living room hai, and I say I'm not looking for any hard kind of a task based thing. मेरे को 200 lux भी चलेगा. I don't need to go for a 300 lux. So you have lux also. So basically when you go to your market ना, तो तुम्हारे पास ये सब ready होना चाहिए. So I will go with this preparation. I will multiply 200 into 12, okay, divided by 0.8 into 0.8. I'll get a number. Say that number is X. And I'll remember that number. कि this number X और मैं एक डायरी में लिख के लेके जाऊंगी कि बाबा ये लक्स है. I mean sorry. This is the number. Okay. When I go to the market, I see the light and this light is giving me Y lumen. ठीक है? And I will calculate X by Y and I get number of light as 4. And I say यार मेरे को 4 lights कितना मतलब उसको कितना साफ करना पड़ेगा. I don't want that. So I will replace that and I say no, I'll go for this light. This light ka lumen hai Z. So this Z is giving me the number of light as 2 only because when I divide X by Z, I am getting 2 number. 2 number is okay for me. एक ये end पे, एक वो end पे, तो मेरा interior भी अच्छा लगेगा and I don't have to bother my ceiling with so many lights and I don't have to clutter my ceiling. So I'm going for this light. So I will go and purchase that Z wala lumen wala light. Did I need lux here? Lux तो आपको मिल गया ना, आपने डायरी में देखा, अच्छा मेरा को इतना चाहिए, this is the task base and this is what is there and so this is done. So when I go as an architect, I will do all this calculation at home. I will only carry one X number with me, which I will go to the market. I will have different lumen outputs. Each lumen output, I will use it in my calculator to give me number of lights. And then it depends how you have designed your ceiling. If you want more lights, then go for more lights. If you want less light, go for less lights. Got it?
Yeah. I got it. That lux is fixed for a room, right? Like that's what you require. So then you'll buy accordingly.
Fixed for a room. No, again, it's not fixed for a room. It is fixed for a task.
Yeah,
So,
I mean it's fixed
room,
if we want to fix it. That this is the amount I require in a room, no matter how many lights.
yes.
Example.
Right? So it doesn't matter. Today the living room is my living room. Tomorrow, who knows? I can give it out to an office, and that office is doing some very heavy, tiny work. Okay, office of a watchmaker. Chalo. So watches बना रहा है वहाँ पे, or I loan it out to I rent it out to a jeweler. So the jeweler guy is going to make his workshop there, and his jewelers are going to make fine, intricate design, and so the lux requirement goes to 400. So he will have to actually do two option है उसके पास. Either he goes and changes the entire ambience lighting, or he will say ये तो मेरे हाथ में नहीं है क्योंकि ये किसी और का घर है and I don't want to do any upsetting business for them. So what I will do is I will manage my task base. So what he will do is he will order those many kind of lamps and see to it that I am getting that much lux. So that is how the situation is handled. So lux is never a need for the manufacturer. कोई पड़ी नहीं है क्योंकि लक्स का तो depends on the task ना. That is the job of an architect, not a job of a manufacturer. Are we clear?
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mohit. That was Mohit, right?
Yeah.
Questions? Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, in residential buildings, there are these spaces like stairways and all, which are always lit, like no matter what the time. So, like, is that like a necessity? Like you have